As you can see, the problem.
What's up, guys? Just playing around with the new GoPro Hero 8 Black is what I'm filming myself for you guys on today, making sure that everything is hooked up right. Super excited about it, being in the excavator all the time and it being very jerky and almost kind of unstable. I'm excited to see how the Hyper Smooth 2.0 works out. You guys let me know in the comments how it's going. So we're moving right along on this clearing job. I had to pick up a little bit of just wood and grass debris over here on this corner for him. So this is probably a good place to try this out and see how it does with sunshine and the glare on the glass. So let's flip you guys around and you can see what I'm doing and what I'm seeing. I'm not gonna lie, the screen is so clear on this thing, it's pretty amazing. The screen on the back of it anyway, I'm telling you, this is gonna be an awesome little camera. We'll see how smooth it comes out. Right now I'm filming in 1080 at 60 frames per second. Most people film in like 60 to 30. The higher the frame rate, the smoother it's supposed to be. A lot of dirt mixed in this, but hey, I hope this video comes out as good for you guys as what I'm seeing, because it is just clear as a bell. For those of you who are new to the channel, I am just a small-time YouTuber, regular guy, nothing special. My goal with YouTube is to help people get into small grading and excavation. There's my mechanic man. He's just in time. Hello, Tim, you're famous. My goal is to help people get started in small grading and excavation. Let's see what Timmy's doing. Alright, sorry about the interruption, guys. That was my mechanic Tim. He was coming to do my oil change. Let's see, he did oil change, fuel filter, or oil filter. He's got to come back tomorrow to do the fuel filter. But he did turn up the pressure screw on my hydraulic pump. So we're going to see if this thing's got a little bit more giddy up and go. Let me turn the camera around. I know a lot of you guys have been with me for some time, and we'll see what you think. Let's just say this little lip on this road is a little too high, and it's causing the road to hold water. So what I'm going to do is, number one, cut that off, and two, I'm going to be able to use that material down here where we had to collect a lot of debris and such all around in here, and it caused some divots in the grass because it was so thick. They let the grass grow up between all those pieces of wood, and that's just no good. So there's a little bit of a glare, so I'm going to lift this screen up. You guys might have to look around my hat just a little bit, and you may not be able to hear me as good, but I think that'll be okay. Let's just get you guys set up right there. Now let's check to see how the zoom feature works. Okay, that's the one thing with Super View, you can't zoom. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. I can control more than one thing at a time, so guys will not be able to hear me as good, and you're going to hear a lot of clanging. There's a stump there, obviously. Let's see if we can get him out of there pretty quick. It's not a big stump. I'm going to tell you what, that little joker, I pulled on it the other day. And that little joker's in there. So it's good I've got to cut this shoulder down anyway, because I'll be able to get through its roots. Look at that. That's lifting the blame of spinning up. Tough little stump. I'll load that up, take it to the stump dump. Oh yeah. I think he turned that pressure screw up like a half turn, I think. Which doesn't really mean anything to me, other than it's got the power now, baby. And we're gonna have plenty of dirt to do some finish grading here. And while I work on this, I'm gonna set you guys up on the tripod and we'll test out the time lapse with this new GoPro Hero 8. We're gonna do that right now. Alright guys, for the most part, when you're finish grading and you're pulling down a high spot, you're going to end up with extra material. And more than likely, there's always somewhere where you're finish grading that you need to bring the ground level up. So take a minute even before you get to this stage and look, I'm going to be cutting this side down. This side's going to have to come up, so you just move it from one spot to the other. Grading excavation, whether it's light grading excavation or big time business where you're moving thousands and thousands of cubic yards of dirt. But like most of my viewers, you are a beginner, and start small. Start with projects you're comfortable with, and naturally you're going to start taking on bigger and bigger projects as you get comfortable with them. So let's look over here and see where we need to move this dirt to. As you guys can see, up there we had to cut the shoulder down. Down here we don't really have a shoulder, but what we do have, and you can see from the way I'm walking that I drop in elevation pretty quickly. That's because the road slopes off quickly and then flattens out, and it's really hard to ride a lawnmower on that. So we're going to bring some of that material, put it in this low spot, and we're going to make it nice and smooth to where you can ride a lawnmower on this, making it easier for the homeowner to maintain. They will love you for that. Alright friends, so for this customer, so far we cleaned up a dead, rotten tree that had fallen from this side across. They just cut it up and left it lay. The pieces of wood had started rotting, grass had grown up through them to where you couldn't even see them. So we've taken the teeth on the bucket and just raked through the grass, got all that wood collected, loaded it up. Now we've cut the shoulder of the road off, and it's a nice smooth transition. What we have to do now is, you're going to see this in the time lapse because most people are visual learners. You will be able to see with a time lapse how I transform this dirt. What I'm going to do initially is I'm going to push dirt up to the edge of the road. Then I'm going to track it and pack it in to make sure that after it's compacted, it's not going to be too low, or there's going to be a transition from road to edge that a lawnmower is not going to be able to transition. So once it's compacted and I'm satisfied with that, and our transitions are nice and smooth, I'm going to do a final back blading and you'll see me pull up, put the blade down, just back drag, and that's going to take out any high spots, low spots, imperfections. Then very last, I'm actually going to take the teeth of the bucket and I'm just going to rake the ground to break it back up. That way grass seed can be spread on it and it can germinate easily, and it'll also, as long as you rough up the ground evenly, your bed of grass will grow evenly. So you guys enjoy this next section of the time lapse, and follow up in the comments after the time lapse with any questions, comments, or helpful tips that you may have on a way that's better than the way I did. We are again, same situation. It's a little low, but we don't have any more material to work with. So what do? We make material. The good thing about dirt is if you have an excess of it, you can spread it out over a large area and not really raise or change anything. It takes a lot of dirt over about any area to make a change. So there again, you can reach out and grab a lot of dirt to make a big change. So what we're going to do now is go down this side of the road, and the first move I'm going to make is I'm going to take the teeth and I'm going to break up the ground away from myself. That does two things. Again, it breaks up the ground, but it also loosens the dirt from the roots of the grass. When that dirt fluffs up, it takes up more room. So each time I sweep it back and forth, it fluffs it up, but it also breaks that dirt away from roots, making it more usable, and it makes it easy to separate organic, such as grass, weeds, things like that, away from the dirt. So we're just going to sweep back and forth, and shape this shoulder to the way we want it to be. So it's been a while since I did an Excavator 101 as far as finish grading with the bucket. I will always, once I establish the grade that I want to do, I'll move over about 2 teeth, which is about 1 foot width on this 3-foot bucket, and I'll actually be watching where the teeth are gliding across the ground that I've already graded, and that way the teeth that are in the cutting edge that are over top of the ground that hasn't yet been cut will be cut to the same grade that we want it to be. I know it's kind of confusing. I'm gonna put you guys in the cab so you can watch what I'm doing. If you guys like learning about excavation and grading, or you're thinking about starting a business, be sure to consider hitting the subscribe button and dinging the bell. If you don't ding the bell, you're not going to get notifications when a new video goes up. And eventually, I'm actually going to get good at presenting on these videos. So you guys stick around and we'll learn together. So I'm going to attempt to put you guys into the driver's seat. So you can see right here is where I've already kind of graded, roughed the ground up. That green stuff is like crabgrass. I mean, it's not like something we really need to get rid of. And yes, I am definitely going to have to get used to having that pump turned up. What I'm doing is I'm lining those two right teeth, 2 to 3 teeth really. Yeah, that tooth actually looks a little loose. I may want to check that pin. And what I'm going to do is I'm watching those left 3 teeth and I'm going to skim them across the ground that I've already graded. Kind of hard to do it and say it at the same time. And usually about 3 to 4 back and forths is sufficient to break that dirt loose from that roof mat. And that last one, I'll generally, as I push out, I'll pull up. And it'll kind of flick that green stuff away from the ground that's being graded, just like that. Oh, it's a lot smoother when I'm not talking. So there, you see how I made that nice, smooth transition. Now, anybody who's done this for any amount of time, this probably bores them out of their mind, but, you know, those people don't need me. If anything, they're watching this for entertainment and the conversations. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to track along. This one reason that I really love running an excavator. You can be looking one way and just drive straight along, you know. I'm driving the track straight up the road while I'm looking off the side, and I'm able to work off the side. As far as my opinion, if you, oh, there's a stump. Come here, little stump. I'm gonna get you and throw you in the truck. As far as people, the most common question I get asked is, what equipment would you suggest buying for somebody who's just trying to get into this? And some people think it's a backhoe, which, if you're in flat country, that's a great idea. I think a backhoe is an excellent tool for people on flat ground. But here in the mountains of North Carolina, a backhoe is almost useless because they're just not stable like an excavator. An excavator, you have a large margin for error. And no, I'm not the smoothest operator. I'm out here to get it done. That's the other good thing about doing this down the side of the road. If you catch a stump, just go ahead and rip him out. It's a lot easier to get in position to work with an excavator. So, you guys who are beginners and newbies, go with an excavator. You'll be glad you did. I can do anything with an excavator that you can do with a skid steer. But a skid steer, I cannot do anything that an excavator can do. And that's me. You know, some people out here can do this stuff and prefer one machine over another. And that's just part of it. It's doing what you're comfortable with, not what everybody tells you should be comfortable with. And I mean, I think when I'm finished grading, I'm going to find that I have to idle this machine down a little bit to reduce that pump pressure. But I am going to be very glad to have it. And sometimes you just got to have a little bit more power. Now there's this culvert right here is the reason I'm not kicking a bunch of stuff down in there. But it's okay if I get a little down this hole because it's actually a little bit low. I was the one that put that culvert in, and I mean, it was wet when I put it in. That's kind of a no-no, but it's okay. There's a bunch of rock right there. Bricks. Why are the bricks? I don't know why there's bricks here. So I'm gonna scoop them up and I'm gonna use them down here. Mash them in. I don't understand. I think those bricks are from the old culvert that I took out. That's all I can figure. I'm gonna tell you what, your controls are quite abrupt. But I like it. I like it. I'm definitely going to enjoy having that pump turned up, and I can only imagine what it's going to do with my forestry mulcher. Just ease on along here, and see this grass is tall just because they can't ride a mower along it. So we're going to fix that for We're gonna make it where he can ride his lawnmower. Yeah, so used to I could just let go of one of my joysticks and it would cause the boom on the excavator or the mast to just kind of float to a stop. But with that pump, it turned out now everything is abrupt and has a lot of power to it. So I'm going to be able to feather my controls a lot more. Oh yeah, the machine overall is just more responsive now. So get all this mashed in here pretty good. I'm actually going to start kind of working my way at an angle. Look how much that thing jars. This is going to be like learning to run a whole different machine now. And that's good because the machine that it was, I didn't really love it. I liked it. I liked my anymore. So I can pick these rocks out of this mess. Now that's a little bit better, Todd. Feather those controls. So it's pretty self-explanatory. We just ran through and finish graded all the way across this bank. Now they'll be able to either pull up and down it with a lawnmower, or if it's a low profile enough mower, they'll actually be able to mow it side to side. This will make any homeowner very happy with you. Believe me, nobody likes running a trimmer. Well, maybe some people do, but I sure don't. You want to think, if this was my property, how would I want it done? And most people want the easiest maintenance they can do. And that includes being able to stay on a riding lawnmower a lot more than running a hand trimmer. This was just a little freebie. They've given me a ton of work back here, cleaning up the skateboard ramp. They asked me if I could do this. I said absolutely. Not gonna charge them for it. It's always good to throw something extra in for your customers, make them feel like they got a better deal and more work for their money, and they will either call you back to work again, or they'll go out of their way to refer you to somebody else. So let's go on over here and do the finished grading on the initial clearing part of this job.